And we're live. There we are.
Okay.
So yay, post-Gen Con live stream. Did everybody enjoy their Gen Con?
Yes, very much so.
I was sick through a lot of mine.
Well,
Well, it wasn't an enjoyable sickness.
Well, no. Gen Con was fantastic from what I experienced of it.
I'm quite happy because it was the first time in a long time we've done a con where I didn't get sick at the end of it.
That's something. I usually take Airborne before a con, like maybe 4 or 5 days before a convention, just in anticipation of all the germs that are going to be around.
Oh yeah.
Al, it's really weird seeing you with like a proper setup and not just sitting on the floor working on a rabbit.
I'm sitting on my bed, so. Hello, buddy.
Well, it looks like you're sitting like on a couch or something.
Oh, good. This is what my stream's all about. Cat butt.
Cat butt.
I think I grabbed the wrong costume reference book. I might have to get a different one. Oh yeah, too modern. So, what is everybody working on today?
Well, I've got these wonderful, be a pain in the ass to assemble Knights models X-Men figures.
Right.
I have 3 of the Vikinger models.
Oh my god!
I was working on these at Gen Con for a quick display model, but then I got hit by the plague, so
right.
Unfortunately.
I'm working on a drawing of. Oh, I do have one. I'm working on a drawing of a cat. I'm putting together a set of playing cards that are all cats dressed in royal clothing. And this is one of them. Let's get that close. There we go.
Kitty.
It's a kitty. And her name is Nikita. She's one of the fosters that we had at my pet store. And she was with us for a long time. She was with us for like 7 months. So she became my little baby. But that's just an example of what the drawing will look like. For who I will be drawing, it is my cat, Groucho. And this is a picture of him as a little baby.
Aww.
Yeah. Maine Coon. This picture you probably can't see very well, but that's me and my sister. In a wagon with his hat. And just to show like what a great cat he was, because we have talent. That's my buddy, my very first kitty.
Adorable.
Maybe a little bit of armor. And that's why I have this costume book with me.
That's a good reason.
Mm-hmm. Research always. Oh, whoops, my soundtrack's too loud.
That is pretty loud.
Damn. Hey, buddy. What are you doing, Bubba? Hello? So I don't know if you've seen these cards, Emily. I don't think I've shown you, but
you've shown me the cat cards, yeah.
The idea is that the images will be up and down, like typical playing cards. So I'm trying to think of a pose and a composition that would be good to be reversed. And I really like him to have like an armor piece or helmet or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want it to be distracting to the card. the point of the card is to have the cat, not the armor. Ooh, fluff beard sticking out.
I think this was the easiest one of these knight models to ever assemble, and it's just he's all one piece.
Oh, I was going to say, oh, that is amazing.
On a scale of 1 being G-dub
Uh-huh.
and 10 being infinity,
Mm-hmm.
how bad are we talking?
It's pretty infinity-ish. I mean, they are also a Spanish company, so
Damn.
yeah. And just mold lines everywhere.
Oh, God.
There are mold lines on Wolverine's claws.
No. No. Are those little hands? Is that what I just saw?
Yeah, that's just his claws.
Oh my god.
He's
You want some, buddy?
just
Look.
absolutely tiny.
They are bitty.
That's amazing. Hi, weirdo. Oh. I think Noah's going to join us in a minute. Oh, I forgot to put the share link up on Facebook. Thank you, by the way, Emily, for labeling the links for maybe technologically impaired.
I just, being helpful. Wasn't trying to say anything.
No, it is very.
Love you, Al. Where are my clippers? Why don't I have clippers? There they are.
Okay.
Which hand is this? Why is there no connection point? Why is it just stub? God damn it. I didn't like this pose for Wolverine to begin with, and I'm liking it even less now that I'm assembling it.
Which pose is it? Just like the pose of him standing there with his arms out and claws, like.
No, he's got his arms straight down,
Oh.
going. Yeah.
I think that only works in a drawing, really.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't 2 pieces.
Okay.
Or 3 pieces, rather, because each friggin' hand is a separate piece.
Whew.
I think I'm going to grab my other costume reference book. I will be right back. Okay, buddy. Dream's yours.
I really do not miss metal models.
I rather like metal, but I'm a madman.
You are a madman.
But I like the metal because it feels more substantial, I guess. And a good metal model is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, a bad metal model is one of the worst things known to man.
Yeah. Like you were saying, it really depends on who's doing it. Like GW metals at least generally have
Hit and miss.
keyholes and everything to make it a little bit easier to assemble.
Mm.
but these are generally straight cuts on the Knight's figs.
So lots and lots of pinning.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to pin Wolverine's hand to his wrist.
I think this book is in French, I'm just realizing. I don't usually read the book, I just look at the pretty pictures. A friend got me this set for reference. I love it.
Well, that is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It's real good. It's got costumes not only of the European nations, but of like all the world's nations throughout history. It's really useful. And it's only an overview, but it's a really good reference point. Do a couple of sketches here, and oh, there's Nella.
Hello.
Hey, Rinoa.
Hi. How's everyone doing?
Good morning. Come on, stay. Stay.
Got a little bit of zip kick.
It's in the other room, and I hate the smell of it.
Yeah, but it makes that stuff set instantly. So.
Yeah. My preferred method is to just put a little, like, dab of green stuff in the gap. Just a tiny little bit to hold it in place, but I don't know where the hell that went to.
I think I have like 8 tubes of the stuff. I don't even sculpt.
No, I just used it for this, basically. I think I used it maybe once or twice on an actual sculpt, just because we had to fix something, and I didn't feel like sending it off to Patrick to fix.
Okey-doke. I am going to mute my mic here and turn on my airbrush, so I will be back after these messages.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, just to geek out for a second. Look at all these shoes.
That is a lot of shoes.
Ugh, amazing.
Oh, come on, fit in your damn base.
So, Rinoa, tell us what you are working on this stream.
Oh, first and foremost, I'm working on waking up. But after that, I'll be continuing from, gosh, when was the last time we met up?
Like a very long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Seriously.
I don't know, it was like over a month, I think.
So in July or June, probably not June. I was started this gelato scene, and I will be continuing working on that. Actually, right now I'm trying to find a reference to the image I made for you guys for the box of your startup set, so that I can use it as a reference for like how to handle the line art and the coloring.
Alright. 2 more X-Men built. Oh good, and Wolverine is actually shorter than everyone else.
I was gonna ask. Is he Hugh Jackman scale?
That would be great is if they, because they have done movie versions of a bunch of like the Batman figures. If they start doing that for the Marvel ones too, and you get Hugh Jackman Wolverine and he's actually the same height as everybody else.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious. Little in joke. I love Hugh Jackman. I think probably my favorite Hugh Jackman movie is The Fountain. Have you ever seen it?
I think so.
It's really sad. It takes place across 3 different like timeline universes. That sounds
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Mm. Fancy armor.
Al, what are you listening to?
Nothing. Katamari.
Katamari. Sure.
Yeah. I was listening to one of the Halo soundtracks, but it got really loud, really fast, and I could not control the volume.
Damn it.
Are you opening? Sometimes Photoshop does this thing where I've clicked to open something, and I just assume it's going to take like 5 minutes to open. And then I check back, and it hasn't even like given me the signal that it started opening. So I'm like, is it frozen? Did I not click it enough times? There we go.
Photoshop just hates you sometimes.
Yeah. Photoshop, no.
Maybe you should think of it more like a magic 8-ball, and this is just its way of saying try again later.
You're right, bud. That's absolutely how I should think about it.
I really like how that banner for that art came out.
Yeah, I do too. Shit. I mean, shoot. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've probably said worse things than shit on this stream at some point.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get the gel artwork done in one of those big banners as well.
That would be so cute.
I'll have it over by where Tom is doing the events. So hopefully it makes it a little bit easier for people to find them then.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Well, I was at a convention and I saw that. I would definitely want to stop and see.
Also Bunny.
Funny! I think I've decided what I want my armored cat to be.
What's that?
So I've got a... Oh, you cannot see that.
Yeah, it's really hard to make it out.
Well, just rest assured that he's got a regal expression on his face and a
Song in his heart.
Yes. Um, one of those stripe plates, like right here, those round plates, they just like stuck on the armpits of armor. I don't remember the proper name for it. And then also a pauldron and like a cape slung across his shoulders. He's going to be the king of Fishbone Spade, I think, if I remember correctly. So just going to do some warm-up sketches for his face. Because I haven't drawn anything in a really long time.
So currently, I am sanding and cutting down parts of Rogue's ass so that her leg will actually attach.
Okay. Dang, Hank.
There is like a bit of mold line and shift right where the connection point is, so there's a whole lot of extra metal that I've got to get through for this to actually maybe possibly work.
Oh, I wanted to, before I forget,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, for assembling your miniatures,
Mm-hmm.
the on the lamb, or
Mhm.
the endless
Mm-hmm.
miniatures, what kind of adhesive would you recommend?
Super glue.
Just super glue?
Yeah. I really like Gorilla Glue gel. It looks like Andrew is pointing out Gorilla Glue non-gel. Um, I like the gel just because it stays in place, and I can just dab it on and then take my sweet-ass time to actually assemble everything. Um,
Have
yeah.
you ever worked with, growing up, I used to do a lot more miniatures, and we always used to work with two-part epoxy,
Mm-hmm.
but that was more with, like, metal figurines.
Yeah, I mean, you could use that, and you'll very much never be able to get anything apart whenever you use that. But I find super glue works just fine.
Sure.
I've got some Loctite hanging out somewhere.
Yeah, I used to use the Loctite gel, but I find that the Gorilla you get more in the actual container than you do Loctite.
Yes, oh my gosh. It's like all container and just an itty bitty bit of glue. Yeah, when I bought it, it was like someone had already opened it and used some of the glue.
That's like every container of Loctite I've ever bought.
I think it's actually so humid in here that it's affecting my drawing. Not to be big baby or anything, but I'm just feeling a difference on like the drag of the pencil across the paper.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? It's just really humid.
How's the weather in Florida?
Yeah.
Hot.
Yeah.
Hot and humid. Thankfully, it hasn't quite reached the peak of daytime, so my office isn't quite 100 degrees,
Mm.
but it is getting noticeably warm in here. I don't know what it is about our house, but for whatever reason, the side of it that my office and the OTL shipping room is in, the AC just doesn't work.
Doesn't reach it. We're only 74 degrees, but we are 91% humidity.
Wow.
Delicious.
Alright. That's 4 X-Men assembled.
See, I think you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm starting to get the hang of dealing with their stuff. There's still a lot of mold lines in really, really annoying places that I haven't finished cleaning up, but I will probably get to before I prime them. But I've got 2 more X-Men and then a bunch of Teen Titans to build.
Teen Titans!
Yeah. And then maybe one day I'll actually get to learn how this game plays and play it instead of just buying the models.
That's secondary.
It really is.
Hey, who's my buddy? Who's my buddy? Hi.
So, since this is the OTL live stream, I should probably actually do some OTL stuff and show off something new.
Ooh.
Nonsense. Nonsense.
So earlier this year, we did the Chibi Dragoon, which we've had as a con exclusive for Gen Con, for Adepticon, Gen Con, and upcoming ReaperCon. It was basically a test bed to see how well Chibi figures would do for us with Endless. And I'm sure many people will be happy to hear that we're going to be doing more.
Yay!
So here we are. This is the Chibi Adept, who's going to be part of the next batch, which will be, I want to say, like 5 or so figures. Generally all based on Endless designs. Although there will probably be a couple of new things, just that the sculptor happened to have available. Um, and that's all I really have at the moment.
Whoever thought the Adept could be adorable?
So yeah.
Really?
That will be a probably a Kickstarter that we start a few weeks after ReaperCon or somewhere near ReaperCon at the end of October. Just to get the molding and everything taken care of.
Mm-hmm. That is awesome.
And I actually hope to have almost all the sculpts done before we launch the Kickstarter, just to speed everything up.
I think that's a good idea.
Since our last one, we've been waiting for sculpts, and it caused a huge delay for everything, and the big pain in the ass for us. So I'd like to try to prevent that in the future.
I just think that's nice for backers too, because it shows. I mean, obviously you guys can do what you're claiming to do. You've been doing it for years, but it just shows people like this is what it's really going to look like, and this is just a little bit away from being completed.
Yeah.
Emily, how have you liked running things on Kickstarter?
It's incredibly stressful, which I'm sure you know.
Oh, yes.
But it is really, really helpful for us to be able to actually do what we do. While the lines will sustain themselves, they haven't quite reached that point where we're rolling in profits to be able to just launch a ton of stuff at once. So being able to just crowdfund it and have have the next set of models produced that way to be able to just continue on the cycle, it works pretty well for us. We'll probably at some point do a 4th one for Endless, but I'd like to try to do something other than just minis for that one.
Sure.
But we'll see.
Yeah, it's really nice. I guess it's kind of like I think of it like a microfunding system.
Well, it is basically a microfunding. It's crowdfunding.
I know, but I mean, sorry, like a micro loan.
Yeah.
That a bank would give you.
But they try to woo a bank with your little toy soldiers.
Obviously,
Emily, you read manga, right? I think that's fair to say.
Do I read manga?
Do you read manga?
In the sense that, do I have time to read manga? No, I don't.
I don't know. Have you been? Believe me.
Do I need to like pan the camera around again? I mean,
Oh
the
yeah.
the
I only
like I can
obviously
just reach over here and I can just pick up random, persona figure or something, and
yeah. I just finished. Did you ever see? It was kind of like a not super big. It was commercial, but it wasn't hugely popular. It was called Romeo X Juliet.
I heard of it. I don't think I read it though.
They made an. It was one of these weird cases where they made the anime first
Mm.
and the manga second. Um, and I have it because a friend of mine worked on the localization.
Hmm.
And so she had a spare book, and at the time we were talking about comics and possibly collaborating on something. And she was just like, "Oh, just have this. I've got it. It's just sitting around." Um, so I never got around to reading it until just a couple days ago. It's not super long. It's just one of those like mega omnibus versions. But I think the comic itself only ran like 2 or 3 total. And at first I hated it, and then it kind of grew on me, and then by the end I was like, there was actually a pretty good story here. There was actually something sort of interesting they were trying to do, and something they were trying to say. I think, though, it suffered a lot from like it had too many characters, and it was trying to tell too much story in too short of a format.
Mm-hmm.
And they would just skip over whole things, like they would like introduce in a single page that this character was in love with Juliet, not Romeo, like one of the side characters, and that he was now giving up on her. And it was like that was never set up. It was never hinted at or built up. It was just something that they're just like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then it was over. And I'm always curious to see how pacing can make or break stories, how much space, and obviously, mangas are like an industry like anything else, and they have to make hard decisions about like how many pages they can dedicate to any single thing. And I thought it was a really great case example of what was potentially a really good story that was sort of hindered or even sort of ruined by the limitations of the industry.
Yeah. Um. Well, there's a lot of it with manga too. Is that like because it all runs in magazines that are monthly, bi-weekly, weekly, or whatever. Um, the artist ends up having to churn out like a billion friggin' pages every week just to stay on top of things. Um, so I think that you really have to get to knowing the right level of pacing you want to do for the story, so you can keep that schedule up. Which sure they also have a bunch of assistants usually doing all the like the main artist will do the broad strokes, and then the assistant will come in and finish the deep little details and backgrounds and whatnot. But
Yeah.
which is really what you need, Rinoa. You need like 6 assistants
I,
to just.
you joke, but I actually do oftentimes get frustrated by my level of output. And it's not for lack of working. It's just the nature of, like, Marvel, DC, everyone, it's all created, all those, like, even big Western comic title names, those are all made by, like, 7 different people.
Mhm.
And that's how they keep their input up. And I wish I lived in a world where I could just make, you know, all the pages. But in the reality that and I'm sure you run into this too with Endless and many of your own projects, it's challenging. Like this stuff takes time, it takes money, for you especially because you've got a lot of overhead. For me, obviously, comic pages, it's more time-based. But still, like, there's only so much you can do in the day without like getting totally burned out.
Yeah. We've had people, go asking us, well, when is, XYZ coming out? And we're like, well, as soon as we can cue it in, you
Yeah,
know.
right.
It's not like neither Matt nor I are sculptors. We're not artists. We're just writers and designers. We can't really do anything without relying on like you or Patrick. And it's a long process to go from concept to actual model. It's not a cheap process either. So
Right, right.
um,
Yeah, running your own business is hard, especially for indies like us who don't have. I mean, we have the pleasure of getting to be our own bosses and basically make whatever we want. But
yeah,
at the same time, we don't have the sort of startup capital of like a subsidiary of Disney or one of Marvel's, or even like Pathfinder. A lot of their art is like made by
hmm
these smaller creation houses, but they still have that kind of those initial resources that are so helpful to have, and
yeah,
that you have to both of us have to kind of like wear the hat of both like creator and fundraiser to find ways to make our projects feasible.
yeah. And it's gotten better in the recent years. Because
Mm,
like when we first started out, there were small companies, but there weren't a lot of small companies like our size companies trying to do the stuff that we do.
sure.
Um, but there has since been more now, and people are realizing that shit takes time. Small companies can't just plop out a bajillion releases like a big company can. So we've gotten less and less moaning about that sort of stuff.
Well,
Which I totally understand. Wanting particular thing to be released so that your chosen army will be complete. Um, and I would love to just be able to put out everything at once. That'd be so awesome. But until I get that winning lottery ticket,
Have to wait until then.
well, and even if you won that lottery ticket, and all of a sudden you could make all the things. One thing that I've found in my own work, and I think Alex is continuing to find in her work, is it's one thing to have the capital, it's another thing to know what to spend on or what to
yeah,
invest in.
Yeah.
And I know for you, kind of like some of how Brushfire's development as a company has gone, some projects worked out really well, other projects didn't. And if you spent $1 billion on one of those projects that ended up kind of flopping, I mean, you could make the argument that, oh, if you had that capital, you could have gotten the momentum going to make that project work. Or it could easily be you spent, oh, shoot,
What?
I'll get it.
It's okay. My cats are hiding. But yeah, going off from what Noah was saying, I'm at a complete crossroads as to do I spend the money I have available on printing poker cards with cat faces on them? Or do I try and reprint the tarot cards? Because I feel like my customers are telling me they want to see the tarot cards again.
hmm
But then, comes the question of do we seek a license from Nintendo or not? It's just complicated.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, business.
Like she was saying, I think like Brushfire was a great learning experience, and I think that if we were to redo it, um, it would it would go much better. We've learned quite a lot from it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm glad that we did do it first, because it made Endless a much better game in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I mean, we are planning on going back to Brushfire beyond just the endless re-releases of Brushfire Figs, which is a really, really terrible pun now that I'm thinking about it. But it will take a bit of capital and a bit of build up. And I'm not 100% sure that like just going to Kickstarter with that sort of thing would actually work out. I think we need to do quite a bit of work before that point to get it to a point where we could easily fund the rest of the line and have it be a proper game again.
Yeah.
And I don't think we would be quite as ambitious as we were to begin with the large army scale that it was. As much as I really enjoyed that, I would think we would probably start small and then make sure that to allow players to easily scale up to that size if they want, or if they're returning with their old armies to be able to play at that level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think all of us creators at certain points realize to be a little less ambitious. Like, you kind of have to be to start a event, especially. You have to be hungry, you have to be willing to try things, you have to be willing to make those mistakes. But eventually you get burned enough times realizing, like, oh my gosh, trying to put out a colored comic page a day, every day, is not really sustainable. Like, you can't do that without like just either like destroying your life or your health or all kinds of stuff like that. Maybe some people can. I'm sure there are some superheroes out there who can do that, but I can't. And
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's what matters most to me, is what works for me. So, and I continue to work on my production speed and that kind of thing. But like, if anything, what I've learned is that it's really important to, and sorry, I'm getting all preachy, but so take all this with a grain of salt, but I really have started to focus on what makes a sustainable creative career versus what makes just like what's going to make all the things.
Mm-hmm. And that's really for the best. And I'm glad that you've come to that realization as well, that sustainability is much better than having everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
That's
right?
that.
Yeah. What in the world was that like tuba sound?
Well, that was the main truck.
Oh.
That so kindly interrupted us.
Okay then.
We need to have you sign for a package.
Well, I hope it was something good.
I think it was something amazing.
It's an Etsy order from
Yes.
Poor Alex. Should I just open it now?
No, I would like to open it, please.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know what this is. Oh, this is so exciting. Can we tell them what it is?
Sure.
God, you two are adorable.
You think so?
Yeah, you sure about that?
Alice, the thing you ordered a couple days ago?
Yes, let me tell the story.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I just have some stories.
So, we're part of the Renaissance Festival Club at our school, our alma mater. And so every year we go to their festival. And last year we went and we set up a table there, and it was very cold and rainy those couple of days.
Yeah, it was so nasty.
And so you know how when you get cold, your extremities kind of shrink and stuff. I lost my wedding ring. So
Shit.
yeah. And that's fine. If I had lost my wedding ring that I purchased, that would be sad and stuff, but it wouldn't be a big deal. No, this was the wedding ring that my dad used to get engaged to my mom.
Aww.
So, the family heirloom. in that sense. So I was really sad, um, but I found a ring online that somebody had, and it's the same, probably even same studio. It's that rose gold, like floral style that was really popular in the late 70s, early 80s.
Hmm.
And so it's not very expensive, it's not very rare, but it's just something that meant a lot to me. And so, yeah, I found this lady who had one for sale in my size, and I was like, oh my god, yes.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, I finally just now saved enough money to get it, and I'm really excited that it's here.
Etsy just has everything on it, apparently.
Yeah, well, it's vintage. It has to be handmade, vintage, or craft supplies.
I just recently ordered that sort of Dios replica that I linked you.
Oh, really?
I'm
Oh, that's
so forward
awesome.
to seeing that in real life.
Yeah, I'm. It's gonna take me a while to like finish it because it's an unfinished resin kit, so I gotta sand it and everything. Um, but it should be really cool. I'm gonna try to magnetize the blade to the hilt, so that
Oh,
way you can do the pull it out of somebody's chest.
that is awesome. And I probably shouldn't even tell you this because I'm not going to do it. I'm not.
Uh huh.
But um, watching Uchina with you and thinking about your cosplay and how it's going to look and stuff and the different like cosplay forms you could get potentially with that costume.
Mhm.
Even though I don't like the character necessarily,
Mhm.
I've been kind of tempted to cosplay Anthe,
Mm.
but I'm not going to do it. I'm not.
Well, there are plenty of ladies in the show, and a couple of guys that you could very easily do.
Oh,
Um,
and I'm not even saying like I'm not going to do it because I don't particularly care for the character.
uh huh.
It's just to me she hasn't been very defined yet, and
Mhm.
I'm waiting to see like who she is and what her real story is and stuff. So I probably will like her later. I just don't need to make another costume right now.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Gotta make all the costumes. We just went over that.
All the every single one. I have been enjoying that show. You know, like we were pretty religiously working our way through it, and then we took a break for Steven Universe. Now we're trying to get through Steven Universe because it's so hard to come by sometimes.
Mhm.
Like as soon as it's available someplace in a couple of weeks, it won't be just because stupid. Ugh. Anyway, complaining about uh, um, modern media aside, um, yeah, it's we've been working our way through Steven Universe, and that show is fantastic. I love that show so much. Um, but after that, we'll come back to Utena to finish it up because it's been really an excellent series. It's goofier than I thought it was going to be.
Yes.
It
That's
the,
for sure.
it gets seriouser as it goes on.
I'm sure.
But it does maintain the goofiness while being serious.
Yeah, and that's great. I mean, I love it. I love that kind of balance of levity and I don't know, drama.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Hmm. There's just something about this I'm not really satisfied with the eyes. Maybe rounder. I saw something recently on Tumblr where there was a dad chastising his kids, and he's like, "Kids, stop watching cartoons and do your homework." And they're like, "Well, you're the one that's watching." And then he turns around and he's watching Steven Universe. He's like, "This is a masterpiece." That's how I feel about that show.
To be fair, Steven Universe is a masterpiece. That show's so good. I love the art of it. You know, that and there have been some really fantastic Western cartoons to come out recently between Rick and Morty and just like some of what Adventure Time has done. Just because I feel the creators of those shows really have a message or really have some sort of strong artistic vision that some of the other cartoons bouncing around don't have. Or heck, even like My Little Pony, which was I haven't watched it in a while, but when it first came out and it was really hyped, I mean, that was a really enjoyable show for all ages, and that was I don't know, like I thought that was kind of interesting to see kind of a modern renaissance of cartoons. That maybe it's always been happening, and I just wasn't paying attention until recently. But it seems like the quality of cartoons in America, at least in some areas, have been really excellent.
It's literally too humid. I need to get a different pencil. Like, I don't even know.
Oh, it's the humidity.
Tubi or something. Like, it's not going on the paper the right way.
There has been high quality storytelling in animation in the States, on and off, for the last couple of decades, but it's usually only like one or two shows every few years. But it has lately gotten much more, which I think it is because our generation has been growing up and we still all enjoying cartoons.
Yeah.
But we want proper storytelling and everything. The DC animated series from back in the 90s and early 2000s were some of the best for that. Bruce Timm did a fantastic job managing all those series.
It's so ironic considering, I don't know, like how excellently the current Marvel universe is handling them simulcast, and while DC seems to not be doing so well story-wise, they're still both doing very well in the box office. Like, love or hate Suicide Squad or Batman versus Superman. They're making more movies because they're making money. And but the 90s, oh man, Batman the animated series, that was so good.
Yeah.
Even Superman to a somewhat lesser extent, but still very good animation quality. Thanks for bringing that up, because I totally blanked on that.
Yeah. This is not even molded properly. I really enjoyed those series a lot. How is this supposed to connect? The 90s X-Men and Spider-Man cartoons were also pretty good. They adapted a ton of the comic storylines.
No.
But I do think the DC ones did things better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually agree with you. Like, X-Men the animated series or whatever it was called.
Yeah, it was,
yeah, right. Everyone remembers that opening song. But the show itself just didn't grab me the same way that like Batman the animated series did.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's ironic to see how differently I feel about both those properties now. Obviously, Marvel has come a long way in a lot of ways, but we'll see. We'll see how things continue to go with the Avengers in particular, and I think that's going to be a hard universe to keep up. I I know. Do you watch any of Red Letter Media?
No.
Half in the Bag or the 30 no the like 70-minute reviews of the Star Wars prequels.
Nah.
That stuff is pure gold. But they were talking about they were questioning whether or not Captain America, the newest one, Civil War, was starting to buckle under the weight of the cinematic universe. And I didn't think so, but I could kind of see what they were getting at, which is like it's hard. It's hard managing that many tones, that many IPs, that many main characters, and making it all gel and work together well.
Yeah.
I get it, Emily gel, because I'm working on gels.
We're all terrible punners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me, master. I have fun.
What were you saying, Em?
Sorry. I'm concentrating on both the conversation and trying to glue this stupid figure together.
Oh, sure. Speaking of X-Men.
Yeah.
Dun-dun.
It's White Queen, and she's got her arms like pointing straight out because she's doing her psychic bullshit.
Mhm.
So of course the arm is a separate piece, and she's super lithe, so it's like a millimeter connection point for this freaking piece.
Sounds complicated.
Yeah. I really wish I knew where my green stuff was. Um, but yeah, I see where what they're talking about with Marvel kind of having way too much stuff going on, but
Mhm.
um, I think they're still handling it pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I really enjoyed Civil War.
Yeah, Yotam, we just saw it, and this was really fresh in our minds. And it was real good. It was intense. Quite a few moments during the movie, I found myself like gasping and holding my face. Because I was just like, "Whoa, you guys are friends!"
Just like that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I
I,
thought
I can see her doing that.
you were there, Noah.
I know what you mean, though, Elle. There were a lot of moments
It
in
was
that.
business.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Here's
Jean
a big
Grey's thumb is miscast.
Oh,
Oh,
It doesn't have enough metal there, so she's missing part of her thumb. Nice.
proving that even licensed figs are susceptible to bullcrap.
Yeah.
that's just the nature of the beast, huh?
Yeah, so like that's the pose that she's in. Both her arms are separate pieces.
Why?
I know, right? Like that is a perfectly fine to be cast as one friggin' thing model. But no. No. Take her arms off. Make me glue her friggin' tiny, skinny little girl arms.
You're like, we gotta build some challenge into this. Let's just one more piece. Bring up my boyfriend.
And of course course, the connection point to where it connects into the shoulder is also the part where they put the vent for the metal to flow. So I got to try to trim around that without trimming the tiny little peg they actually gave me on this one, to hopefully maybe possibly get it to connect.
Oh no.
I'm drawing Groucho's mouth right now, and I think one of my favorite parts to draw for cats is their little bottom lip, where it just sticks out a little bit. You can just see a little bit of shininess. I don't know why, but that's so satisfying to me.
I really hope I don't end up gluing this arm backwards.
Oh no!
Well, I'm trying to get it into the shoulder joint, and I'm holding it by her hand, so I can't really see which way her thumb is pointing. And I just know that, like, when I go to paint this, the paintbrush is going to end up pushing the damn arm off or something.
Oh god. That's sad.
I've got a teriyaki skewer, and I'm pushing glue into the gap in the hopes of keeping a better connection.
That's probably a really appropriate tool. One of my favorite tools when I'm working on little clay figurines is toothpicks. Because if
Yeah.
you roll it around, you can get that like perfectly smooth surface without any fingerprints on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really useful.
All right, one arm on. Now for the other one.
Arm on.
And hopefully I don't knock the first arm off while I'm doing this one, because that would be really fucking annoying.
That would be sad. I might still chuckle though.
It'd
But
be
no,
fine. I'm sure Andrew is just laughing in silence over there while he airbrushes away.
a permanent puzzle.
Oh, Andrew. I'm also really glad that I bought a can of Army Painter Yellow, so I can just prime all these in yellow, since that's like the consistent color for X-Men.
Ah, I didn't think about that, but that is a good base.
Yeah. And since you haven't really done any minis painting, yellow is one of the worst to try to paint, because every yellow paint just doesn't have coverage.
Yeah,
A billion layers to get anything a proper yellow.
I'm familiar with the problem of opacity and transparency.
All right. There we go. Now I have 7 X-Men for my team.
7 X-Men.
trying to think of who I would want now for them to do beyond these ones. And I'm like, I know there's like a million X-Men characters, but like, I can't think of anybody that I would want.
I wish Jake was here right now. Our friend Jake knows everything about the X-Men.
He
Like,
does.
he'd be able to tell you, from down the line, from the least known X-Men.
I guess I'd probably want like Excalibur or the New Mutants to get teams. Captain Britain, Megan, Phoenix 27.
Phoenix 27?
There's too many people named Phoenix. And they're all related to Jean.
Of course.
This is Jean and Scott's daughter from an alternate timeline. This is Jean and Scott's daughter from an even alternate more timeline. Yeah, I used to read like X-Men all the time. It was one of my favorite comics growing up, but I just don't have time for comics anymore, especially trying to buy singles at like $4 to $6 a pop now.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's so much when you think about it.
Hmm.
Gosh, that's an interesting industry too. Comics.
Yeah.
I keep pushing against getting more involved with it on a less independent basis
Hmm.
and more commercial, just because I do have, like, by virtue of working in comics long enough, you do meet people who work in the industry and who are like, oh, hey, I could hook you up, I could give you this connection, blah, blah, whatever. I don't know, maybe it's just because I like my freedom. I like my ability to make whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want to.
Hmm.
But like and obviously working with you is different because like we're both indies. There's this level of like kind of give and take, and I'm sure you get that even in the industry too. But I don't know. There's something supremely intimidating about the idea of getting a job at one of those places and feeling like, I don't know, like they'll take advantage of you or work you to the bone and not like take care of you and that kind of thing.
Yeah. It does kind of feel like that sort of thing, where they'll just grind you up and spit you out at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Heath had experience working in actual professional comics, and it didn't go well for him. And he can give you a very long tirade if you ever wish to hear it.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunately a pretty common story.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah. I don't know. There's that whole idea of, well, you're a starstruck newcomer, so you should just be happy to be working at all. And this is something I think all of us have come across, and we're just kind of tired and done with now, and have each kind of dealt with it in our different ways. But I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. I know. Oh, yes. I know. For a while, I was looking to getting into lettering for different comic companies. I had a friend who did it already, and she was giving me contacts and giving me opportunities, and I did it for one, what was it, Hotel Castle Mongo or something like that, years and years ago. It was a yaoi, or a yaoi, I think. Yaoi. Well, whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And I don't know. Like they promised they would pay. It was like $600 for an entire book, and it took me an entire month of like breaking myself to get this done. And I mean, it's not an insignificant amount of money, but like we're talking about if it had just been switching out the text for 300 pages, that would be one thing. but it was also tone replacement. It was also like redrawing certain parts of the pages, and oh my gosh, it was such a nightmare. I ended up spending like hurting myself trying to get all that work done, and it was all just for $600, which again isn't an insignificant amount of money, but
But
for
not for a month's worth of work.
yeah,
And I feel
exactly.
like it was $10 day or $10 10-hour days, 6 or 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's found a way to make it work. And obviously, as you get more well known, you get more money for the work that you do. You also get faster, so your time is worth more money. It was just if I had stuck with it, I probably could be doing that professionally, full time. But I just didn't want to. I mean, like on top of everything else, like there was a certain charm of being like I'm working in manga, I'm working in a comics company, but at the same time, that kind of sheen dulls pretty fast, and you have to either enjoy what you're doing or get a different job, basically, because the novelty of working for, I don't know, a company that makes a media or something that you're excited about, I think goes so far.
Well, at least you're still doing smutty drawings.
Oh yeah, that will not change, I don't
That's
think.
the important part. I am at the boring part of my drawing, which is rendering. So you probably still can't see it, but I'm laying down I can see a little bit.
Aw.
Laying down the stripes and things. The Groucho's mostly black, but he has a lot of stripes within that. So the stripes come first, and then I'll layer some things over it. Bubble just grunted in her sleep. I'm sorry that you couldn't hear it. It was very cute. Honestly.
I still just really love the one over at the bar, just off being a loner.
Yeah, well, he looked so cool with his little hat, the wastrel or whatever it is. I figured at first I had the barkeep being kind of mad, but now I just figured they're being grumpy together. While the rest of them are being rowdy. People.
I'm just going to commiserate with this barkeep.
Yep.
I like the waitress has that kind of just like concerned, not sure of look to.
Yeah, right. Like, what am I getting myself into?
Are they gonna tip me? Am I getting tipped for this?
Yeah, right. Is this worth all this trouble? I'm getting the feeling that it's not.
I don't think any of them actually have a coin purse.
How intelligent are gels?
Um, like cats.
Are they really?
Um,
We see all.
They have a purpose that they focus on.
Mm.
Whatever they've been imprinted by, they will focus on that. So, like, the wizard was imprinted by a sorcerer or something, and so he wants to do all the magics.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, Gelato was imprinted on by a boy who believed himself to be a great hero. So, Gelato is a great hero, so he assembled a party. And what do parties do? They wait in taverns for adventures.
That's actually really cute. I like that a lot.
One day their adventure will come.
Mhm. Until then, just slap in their face and bowl the soup.
Now we're all super quiet.
Sorry.
That's alright.
Quality entertainment, guys.
It really is. Like, you know.
When you need fast-paced action, you come to the On the Land podcast.
And I'm back.
Oh, thank God.
Complete mess, but I am back.
So what you got to show for us, Andrew?
Ta-da!
Beautiful. Just gorgeous.
I'm selling it. The bidding starts at $50,000.
I will give you a penny.
I have many interested buyers. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Some of the top art critics in the country.
Uh-huh.
I'll help you know.
Okay. I'll PayPal you that penny later.
But as soon as I finish reassembling my airbrush, which I love this thing to death, I cannot recommend these enough. It's a Posh Talon. I love them. I've broken it twice by snapping the tip off,
Oh no!
and they've replaced it.
I was gonna say, is this the one that the company so generously replaced?
Yes.
That's
I
nice.
love them. So, what I have to show are Vikingers.
Very
Yep.
nice.
Now all in nicely shaded. More than I had all weekend, done in an hour.
If only you had your airbrush with you at Gen Con.
Oh yeah, and I could have brought it too. Stuck it in the car, made a real racket in the vendor's hall.
You should have just gone over to the Badger booth and be like, hey, I just want to test this. Do you have this paint?
Yeah, at this stage, I think I'm going to give them all a wash in their particular color, just to kind of sharpen the recesses, kind of deepen their particular color. If I can find the proper colors. I know for a fact that nobody makes a decent bright green wash. Like an actual green.
Mhm.
Secret Weapon, I love to death, but this is the only green they have, and it's blue.
Hmm.
So I think I'll have to dig out something special for that.
Well, you need to yell at Justin about that.
I do.
And by yell at that, I mean, have a casual conversation with him at a hot tub.
So, Justin.
Who's Justin?
Justin.
Yeah, you guys haven't met Justin yet. You gotta come.
Justin
You'll have to come
is
to
this person.
Well, he'll be at Gen Con in 2 years, so you'll get to meet him then if you don't get to one of the other shows before then.
All right.
I should go to Adepticon.
Yeah, come to Chicago.
But really not that far.
I'm actually right now in the process trying to cancel a table we have at a convention because it's just too. We have some other events going on at the same time, and it's too much. This year has been an experiment and it has failed.
Hmm.
Next year, 4 cons. That's it. Plus Gen Con.
Well, we only planned on doing 2 cons this year. We're doing 3, but I think it worked out pretty well for us to just cut back quite a bit.
Yes. I don't know if we picked a bad year or we just didn't go to cons where people knew us, because we certainly did. We branched out. We went to a couple cons where nobody knew us.
Hmm.
It has not been worth it. It's been too much stress and too much money on our part. So I think in total we are going to 10 cons this year.
Wow.
For people who sell at cons all the time, that seems like not a lot.
But yeah, that's still a lot of travel and a lot of hassle.
Yeah.
And you guys, you're always just doing the little like artist tables, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got some ear hair.
Adorable. I think a lot of times the artist alley section really gets neglected, just because people always assume it's going to be, nobody's doing just fan art or OCs constantly and not putting out like anything professional.
Mm-hmm.
There are professional big time artists at those a lot, but often it's just, high schoolers with whatever random charms they made through some Etsy dealer or whatever.
That's true. That can happen.
Um,
I feel like what's going on in artist alleys right now is people are upping their game and it's getting way more professional, but that might be the perception. I can see that.
mhm. I think you guys are a lot more professional than any of that.
Oh, thank you for saying
Yeah.
so. But I'll tell you
Especially if someone can compile their comic into a printed form.
Oh no, it'll never happen.
what. No, that won't happen. I'll be the one doing it.
Yeah.
No, when we went to Gen Con and I went to the artist alley there, every single artist there, I was blown away by every single artist. Incredibly high quality and just amazing.
Hmm.
Like we've considered maybe going there before, but I just think we would be blown away by the talent. It's so intimidating.
Well, and also I feel that in a lot of these artist alleys, I mean, it varies from show to show, um, but it feels really oversaturated. It feels like a lot of people are really desperate to get into the artist alley.
Hmm.
And going back to what we were talking about earlier about sustainability, one thing I've noticed is a lot of people don't seem to stay very long. You'll get a few people who are perennials who show up year after year, but a lot of people, you see them in the artist alley 1 year and they've spent, $700 coming there between tabling and travel and food and product and everything else, and then they don't sell anything. But I think there's something to be said for the allure of conventions and tabling and being like, oh man, I can be a mangaka, I can be whatever. And like you were saying, there is a certain, I don't know, like amateurness
Hmm.
to it a lot of the time. Not always. Sometimes it's really amazing, excellent work, but a lot of times it seems like new people who don't know what they're doing. I I see this on DeviantArt too. Um, People who are actually halfway decent artists who are only charging like, I don't know, $20 for a full color illustration.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can do that if you're living in your parents' basement, but you're never going to do that if you were trying to pay actual bills and stuff like that
Yeah.
with your art.
Like I've gone around through Artist Alley and DeviantArt trying to I'll look for artists and talent and whatnot, and yeah, I run into a lot of that unprofessionality a lot, which I can understand, being new to the whole thing and not knowing everything.
Hmm.
Um, but there's still a little bit of, hey, if I walk up to you and I'm wearing a company shirt and I'm holding company business card and saying, hey, I'd like to know what your rates are, you know, have that fucking information available.
Right, right.
Don't just be like, oh, you can buy this piece for, $5 or this piece for 20. Like, no, no, no. I wish for you to draw things, my
Right.
things.
This is a stepping off point. This is, yeah.
But like, aside from Heath, most of our original artists that we hired for Brushfire and for Legendary Realms were DeviantArt based. Um,
Sure.
like you were DeviantArt based, uh,
Still
but,
am.
and you were much much better at that whole professionality.
Aw, thank you. Don't worry, it just comes from a severe place of insecurity. Um,
It also comes from experience too.
that too. That too.
Too humid to draw.
Every time you start saying that, it sounds like you're saying too human at first. I'm thinking
Yes,
of that
yes.
really terrible video game,
What video game?
Too Human. It was like Xbox 360 game, I want to say. It was Cyberpunk Norse. You played as Balder, preventing Ragnarok from robots or
Oh, that's
something.
weird.
Okay,
Yeah.
dope. Then. Wow.
Is that a blooming onion?
Bloomin' onion. Where?
It should be. It should be. No, it's gonna be a bone pile.
Okay. I do like this assortment of food products that they've ordered. A whole pineapple, a couple of apples, and a turkey
Yes, yes. And
or
it's
chicken. Yeah.
well, I figured like if they're having like a time at the tavern, there should be like stuff on the table, and I don't know, trying to
No, no, no. Yeah.
build up the scene a little more.
I'm going to need a poster of this, by the way.
Oh, I'm gonna make posters of this.
Yeah, I'm going to need one, because, come on.
Yeah.
You guys.
I think all these spreads that I'm having her do for the guiding book and onward are gonna end up being posters.
That loves me, my gels.
They probably need some drinks too.
Yeah, that's gonna be next. I'm thinking big tankards,
Hmm.
Yes.
like something like that. Oh, there should be like a lobster claw or something in here.
You should do like a find one of the endless monsters and have that like a kappa or something.
I thought about that, but I don't think I could really get the level of detail necessary
Hmm.
to really convey that. But I love when, actually, some of my favorite art is by, the
Yes.
guy who did Dragon Ball Z.
Toriyama.
Toriyama. Toriyama, not all of Toriyama's stuff, actually. I dislike a lot of his stuff, but some of my favorite stuff from him is from Chrono Trigger,
Hmm.
and mostly like the day-to-day illustrations that he would do, where it would be like, here Chrono is in the village, and he is buying some stuff, and he's being attacked by a pterodactyl or whatever, and there's a pterodactyl bones in this like shop where they're selling like, I don't know, things that really establish the world and take aspects from the world and put it into like, well, if you were living in the Chrono Trigger verse, what would you sell at the market? And you would sell like the carcasses of the monsters that are out in the wild and stuff like that. I love that sort of I don't know, that approach.
Hmm.
So they are working on the apartment next door, like construction-wise. So if you guys hear like big bangs and noises and stuff, that's what that is.
All of a sudden, one of your walls caves in.
Right. Just ignore.
Yeah, I'm really loving this. It's gonna be an awesome poster.
Yeah, I hope so. The other thing I am trying to do is balance the level of detail.
Hmm.
So you know what you're looking at. There's certainly not a lot of open space here. That's fine. I mean, like, it's supposed to be kind of a crowded scene. That's the point. But I'll be keeping that in mind as we go. But I'm really looking forward to, like, you kind of, when you were like, I'm going to make this an actual poster, it kind of spurred me on to be like, oh, shoot. Now I have to make it good. God damn it.
Gotta this be good.
Over now. I just know that every time you make something, it's potentially going to be poster or advertisement for me.
Oh, jeez. Just, yeah, lay that on. I should be thinking about that every time.
We
Well, I
saw.
was really surprised to see you blow up the this piece. I
Mhm.
mean, I love this piece, but and it was so cool seeing it all big like that. But I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I have you do stuff at really high DPI, so I
Mm-hmm.
can do that.
Yes.
Spilling my stuff all over the way.
Like, I have this still as a poster.
Oh yeah. Aw, yeah, I loved that piece. God, I did that years and years ago. No.
Yeah, I printed up posters of all those brushfire boxes that you did. I think that one is my favorite, though.
It came out really good.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I make a piece and I'm like, this is better than I'm able to do. I'm not trying to brag. It's actually a point that frustrates me because I look at that now and I'm like, gosh, I haven't done anything that good in a while. Well, okay, that's not true, but like, you know what I mean. Like, I'm like, it's been years. I should be way better than that. But that's still, in a lot of ways, better than some stuff I'm doing today. And I don't know. I'm sure that everyone runs into that a little bit.
I think you really have improved a lot over the years. Like you were a great artist back when you first found you when you were doing Material Girl, but you've come quite a long ways and really improved.
Mom, stop. That's nice, son. That's really, really nice of you to say.
And when we go back to Brushfire, I will probably have you redo that piece to do it even better.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know you can.
Now you're really acting like a mom.
You gotta get good grades.
Gotta get those good grades.
I don't know if I like those people you're hanging around with. They're a bad influence.
Seriously.
I'm completing this drawing from the top up.
It looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Trying to make it not look like the other drawing of the regal cat with stripes that's in the deck already. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Andrew, that's not a Vikinger there now.
Shh. No one will notice.
Well, now we do.
Shut up. I can't work on them because they're wet,
Oh, okay.
so I got to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have anything other than Guild Ball stuff on the table, so
Oh yeah, so Google is going to be discontinuing Google Hangouts. and moving all the functionality over into YouTube. So the next time we do this, it will likely be a different setup.
Oh, okay.
I don't like change.
Yeah.
Does people know I don't like change?
I'm kind of hoping that will mean that the comment notifications and whatnot will actually be a bit better integrated, so I don't have to constantly like go and look to see if there was anything. It should also give us a bit more features. Like I think Rinoa, you might actually be able to then have both your face and the drawing on the screen at the same time.
Nonsense.
How?
What's up, Val?
I was just thinking like that would probably only work if you wanted to share a screen too. I actually have to get like a camera so you can see, because right now you can see me. Hey, you can't see the drawing progress, which is what I'd rather you see, but I can't.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to, unless you like put your laptop at an extreme angle and had it hanging from the ceiling or something. Yeah, you'd have to get a proper camera.
I do have like I have this camera, but I don't know how to make that work with a computer.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work as a webcam.
Yeah. Now we'll figure it out.
Nothing will change for me because I'm not putting my ugly mug on this.
Oh, Andrew, you're fine. Well, when we get the Dark Knight helmet for you, you can just wear that for the stream.
I support this. This I can do. Painting in full armor. That's not a bad idea at all.
Oh yeah, you have to get more.
We'll just have to do a full cosplay stream at one point.
Oh God.
If we can get enough people, if we can stream, or at least record, giant endless game.
Well, there were a couple people talking about that on the Facebook group of wanting to do a life-size endless game at Gen Con next year, which I am totally all for, as long as I can get you three all dressed up as well.
Oh.
Team OTL.
Yeah. And then what we should do is we should have like a league, and then we can play against the other people in the other vendors' booth, like a company softball league.
Yeah.
Except infinitely cooler. Like
Justin would be up for that. I bet Ronnie would be too. Probably John. Yeah, we could probably get a couple people into that sort of thing. I don't know if I really want to have to fight against John's cosplay forces though, because he's got some talent in that team.
But it's not a battle of cosplay, right? It's a battle of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
So I will definitely need help, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think if we actually end up doing it, which I really do hope we do it, we'll probably end up having like Tom be the player for our side.
Yes.
And make him roll giant foam dice and decide what the hell we do.
Oh God, yes! I am excited.
Giant foam dice.
And I mean, a pugilist, a dragoon, a dark knight, a cleric is a perfectly balanced team.
Yes.
Oh, and we'll have a sorcerer.
All we need is a Tomatama and a whole bunch of gels.
I don't want to. Well, I want to make gels, but I don't want to make them just like I don't want to have to try to make a ton of them for Gen Con. But I guess once I make one, it won't be that difficult to make more because they'll all just be cast. So I gotta figure that out. Probably like paper mache and a beach ball.
I know, it's a dessert.
Well, I'll make it out of silicone.
Yes.
Because otherwise it's gonna spoil and be very bad.
Yeah, we have a dessert.
Yellow gels.
we had talked about casting like chocolate and stuff before, but there's just a lot of work you have to do for that for like food safety and whatnot, and
Mhm.
our setup is not designed for that.
Well, that's
Um,
why you don't sell it. You just, give it
well,
to friends.
well, even still, don't eat our miniatures. That's no,
Mm.
don't.
Hmm.
You don't want like random chunks of urethane in your chocolate.
Nah.
It's bad for you.
Vikinger Green is not lime flavored. It's apple.
Oh,
Not what I.
I definitely prefer lime flavor over apple flavor.
All right, now I kind of want to make like Vikinger lollipops or something.
Oh,
That would be pretty sweet.
Like
you
just
could make
like just a helmet shape as a
yeah,
little
yeah,
lollipop.
and you could put like white frosting on them for the
Yeah,
details. It's pretty easy.
I should find somebody who knows how to make candy.
I have passing knowledge how to make candy.
All right, Andrew, that's your job for Gen Con next year. Make a
But my
full
job is
line of.
primary.
Well, that's your secondary job. Everybody has two jobs. Tom writes
Giant
all the scenarios, and then he runs the scenarios.
7-foot tall dark knight. You want some candy?
It's okay, buddy. I just
Yeah.
scared you.
I want the eyes to glow in that helmet. I think that would be really cool, and I want to try to figure out a way to like rig like smoke to come out every now and then, like just out of the armor joints to just like have a little bit of like miasma flowing from you
No.
for that chaotic aura. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
I'll pay someone to follow me around with dry ice in a bucket.
well, I was thinking like an e-cig type thing would probably work if we could find something that's not super carcinogenic. Or expensive, and just like rig that in a couple of places in the suit, and then give you like a button in the hand. I'm not saying for you to do this, Al. I'm saying that I actually kind of know a little bit about electronic stuff like that.
That is
Because
fantastic.
I see you just shaking your head over there. Oh God, what is this crazy woman trying to get me to do now?
That'd be crazy. I don't know. The light up eyes, very doable. Smoke, bit crazy.
Bit crazy, but be really cool.
Yes.
It would be very cool.
In the meantime, 8-pound brick of dry ice.
Carry that around with you.
Yeah, just toss in a bucket of water. Ah!
Yeah, tank of CO2. It's no big deal.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But as long as you have that surfboard sword, that's all that really matters.
Oh, that's going to be magical.
It will be. No falling asleep.
Quiet, you. I've been eating paint and inhaling paint for the past hour.
Oh, well, that's healthy.
Well, yeah, my lungs are like Technicolor.
Now,
So-
I don't know if this story is true, but one of my ceramics professors, and I mean, like, he knew ceramics. He came from North Korea. He was, like, about the ceramics. He said that there was a ceramic studio where they had a dog that lived there, like, all its life. And when it died, they cremated him, of course, in the ceramic studio. And do you know what they found in the kiln? A pair of perfectly preserved ceramic lungs. Because of all the dust he had been
Yeah.
imbibing.
Wow.
Sounds like a tall tale to me, but knowing Hoon, it was probably true.
Yeah.
Sounds believable. Dog ain't going to be happy with silicosis, though.
Alright, so it's about noon, so that's about 2 hours. So we'll probably go ahead and end things then.
Okay.
Wrap it up.
Aw,
There. Kitty.
adorable kitty. Alright, Andrew, what you got?
I have The now finally dry Vikings blue, red, and green,
Very
all
nice.
now shaded. Just need to highlight these and hit the details, and they're done.
Great
Yeah.
job.
Yay.
All right, and Rinoa, that's looking really good.
Yes, yes. This illustration, here, I'll make it big so that you can see it. Let's see. Well, there we go. So yeah,
Very
we just
nice.
worked out. I drew in these two guys, and then this guy over at the bar. I made the guy decided not to make him angry, but just sort of like disgruntled. And then we drew in the barmaid, and all this food stuff has been sort of like laid down on. None of this is finalized. None of this is the final line work even. Um, but we're just working out all the different details. And I'd say we're about like 90% done with the underdrawing. All that's really left to be done is to finalize the design on the barmaid, and then to sketch in this guy in the background, and maybe flesh out a little bit of the background. But I'm pretty happy with it. I want the background to be much simpler, so that the foreground stands out much better and isn't like overwhelmed by just details everywhere.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, it looks really good.
It's exciting. I love it.
Aw, guys, thank you. And Emily, what about you? What did you get done?
Oh, you take the journey around my office. There we are. The
Ooh.
camera will not focus on them properly because they're shiny and tiny. But that's my X-Men.
That's the name of my new band, by the way, Shiny and Tiny.
Tiny, tiny. Aw.
There you go. All right, so thanks again, everybody, for joining us, and we will go ahead and end this.
Bye.
Bye.